You are listening to the Investing, Markets and Money podcast from the Armchair Trader. And this week we're talking about gold mining. We have Dennis Higgs, CEO of Austin Gold Corp, who is joining us from Vancouver to talk about US listed Austin Gold. It's been a while since we've had a gold miner on the podcast, so it's refreshing to have someone joining us now that the gold price is on the move. Welcome, Dennis.
Thank you, Stuart.
Just to kick off then, can you give us a brief overview of Austin Gold Corp itself?
Sure. So Austin Gold Corp is the only pre-discovery exploration company listed on the NYSEAM American. Our symbol is AUST, and in fact, I can give you a simple way to remember that. AU is the symbol for gold, and ST is the symbol for street. So if I told you our symbol was Gold Street, it'd be easy for you to remember. But what we're about, we're an exploration and discovery company. Resource companies typically go through various phases of exploration, discovery, then feasibility, development, and ultimately production. And Austin Gold is all about discovery. Very brief summary, we have a very experienced team with a proven track record in the resource sector. Austin Gold has 3 projects located in the southwestern United States and Nevada, in elephant country where the prizes are worth multi-billions of dollars. The projects have district-scale potential and are located in favorable geologic settings for discovery. And of course, the early exploration expenditures have already been completed. And the biggest returns can accrue to a company's share price when a discovery is made. And Austin, as I've mentioned, is pre-discovery. A couple other points. We have a very tight capital structure with large ownership by directors. We have only 13.25 million shares outstanding, of which management owns about half. So very small float, and the company is fully funded for our planned exploration programs with over $6.5 million in our treasury. So again, with these types of exploration companies, the biggest returns can accrue when the discovery is made. And of course, we've got a very small number of shares outstanding, so that can be magnified greatly. So that's Austin Gold in a nutshell.
You have quite an experienced management team there, don't you? I mean, looking at the guys running the business, you've all had some pretty decent careers in the space.
Stuart, thank you. We have actually. So we have a slogan for Austin Gold. We are serial company builders working with serial mine finders. And so what I mean by that, the people, of course, are always the foundation of any business. And the Austin Board of Directors have been involved in the building of $3 billion companies. Silver Standard, which is listed on NASDAQ, has the symbol SSRM. Predum Resources, which was acquired by Newcrest for $2.8 billion in 2022. And Energy Fuels, which has the symbol UUUU on the NYSE American. So these are companies that our team has all been involved in the building in the past. Of course, so we have a proven track record of everything from exploration through finance, discovery, development, through to production and mine operations. So we have every segment of the mining industry covered. But we also have 2 economic geologists on our advisory board, and they've discovered over 1 billion ounces of silver and over 10 million ounces of gold so far in their careers for other companies. So our goal is to emulate this past success with Austin Gold.
Yeah, I was talking to some mining investors actually about Austin, and they were very complimentary. They said, "Oh yeah, no, those guys know how to make money." So,
I appreciate that comment.
You've got 2 sort of projects in development that you're focusing on at the moment. One is Stockade Mountain. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what attracted you to that?
Sure. So Stockade Mountain is a classic textbook, large gold and silver bearing epithermal vein system, which has district scale potential. These types of systems tend to get richer at depth, and Austin is drilling deeper to find the vein feeder system that fed the Stockworks system. There's similar geologic projects around the world that we use, and an analogy to Stockade Mountain There's Shishikari in Japan, which is over 11 million ounces of gold, past mined and still in reserves. And it's very, very rich. It averages over 1 ounce gold per ton, which is about 33 grams per ton. In that mine, there's Midas in Nevada, which has produced over 2.8 million ounces gold and was Newmont's most profitable mine for many years. Newmont, for those of you that might not know, Newmont is the largest gold mining company in the world right now, based on market cap. And then there's a couple others like El Peñon in Chile with greater than 5 million ounces, and Fruta del Norte in Ecuador, which is being mined right now, with 5.5 million ounces. So what attracted us to Stockade, of course, is that it was previously drilled by three major mining companies, and they ran into discovered what's called a stockwork system, which is a large, low-grade veinlet type system at the surface. And so we know there's gold there. We've drilled 3 holes ourselves, Austin Gold has, and we're getting very significant grades, showing that the mineralized system is robust, and we've got grades as strong as 8 and 9 grams over between 2.5 to 4 feet. So we're pretty excited about Stockade Mountain. It is in Oregon. The reason why those major mining companies left that project area is because Oregon at the time became difficult to permit for mining. But most recently, companies are getting through the permitting process, and so we're confident that Stockade Mountain can proceed to full permitting if an underground economic discovery is made there. So we're drilling deep, looking for the vein feeder systems at Stockade, and we're pretty excited. And in fact, we're just looking to get back at that project before Christmas in the next few weeks, actually.
And the other project you've got is Lone Mountain, which I think you said is part of the Carlin trend. Could you tell us what the Carlin trend is and why that's sort of important?
Yes, Stuart, I get very excited talking about Stockade, but I get even more excited talking about Lone Mountain because of the Carlin trend. So the Carlin trend is the largest concentrations of gold deposits in North America and one of the richest gold districts in the world. Over 40 deposits have been discovered along the Carlin trend, all of them either within a window or proximal to them. This is a 40-mile long strip of land with over 100 million ounces have been mined there so far, and about another 50 million ounces apparently still in resource and reserves there. So Austin Gold's Lone Mountain project is a very large land package located about 20 miles northeast of the Carlin trend. And at Lone Mountain, we have all the same geological characteristics at Lone Mountain as found in the Carlin trend. We've got the intrusion, we've got the lower plate windows, we've got all 3 of the main host rocks at Lone Mountain that host all those deposits at Carlin, including the Cold Creek Formation, the Roberts Mountain, and the Hanson Creek. So everything that we want to see for a Carlin-type gold deposit is located at our Lone Mountain, which again is only 20 miles away from the Carlin. And if we have a significant discovery at Lone Mountain, just down the road are the processing facilities of Nevada Gold Mines. And again, Nevada Gold Mines is a joint venture between Barrick and Newmont, which are the 2 largest gold mining companies in the world. They combined their assets across Nevada in 2019 to create the single largest gold producing complex in the world. So Lone Mountain is in one of the richest and best neighborhoods in the world.
Oh, that's fantastic. I mean, it sounds to me that this could be, if things go well for you, this could be a really big scale project.
It could be fantastic. Absolutely. Any significant gold values we get in our exploration activities at Lone Mountain is going to be very significant, especially again with such a small number of shares outstanding.
Obviously, with the gold price, I mean, I'm hearing about the gold price every single day at the moment. Everyone's been getting very excited about it. Are you seeing that feed through to yourselves, as a group that's exploring for gold? Are you finding that investor enthusiasm is picking up?
Yeah, so just briefly, the gold price in US dollars has hit several new record highs this year. I think someone counted out 35 new record highs in the past, so far this year. So very briefly, there's been several factors have influenced these record highs, including the central bank buying, the Fed's pivot to easier money. You've got a weakening dollar, the slashing of bullion import tariffs by India, a series of significant monetary and fiscal easing moves by China. So gold is doing what it's expected to do, which is provide a safe haven in a world full of chaos and global uncertainties. Even things like the U.S. elections, there's got Middle East tensions and China's economic instability. So the gold stocks typically provide much better leverage, the gold stocks, the equities, to the gold price. And we're starting to see that now. What's typical is the major and senior gold producers see their share price, respond first, and then that works its way down to the mid-tier producers, and then ultimately the junior explorers. So we haven't seen a huge amount of at the junior level yet, but we know that's coming. And of course, ultimately the junior explorers typically get an even bigger percentage gain than the gold producers. So, and then of course, if an exploration discovery is made some kind of a significant discovery, then you get even greater returns to the juniors. So, simple answer, I rambled on a little bit, but a simple answer is we're starting to see it in the majors, definitely, and the mid-tier producers are starting to respond. And ultimately, we expect the juniors will respond to this very strong gold environment.
And when you're looking at new projects, I mean, obviously you've got your hands full here with two very attractive projects at the moment. But I mean, what kind of thing do you really prioritize when you're trying to source a new exploration project? What is it? What are the characteristics that are ideal for you?
Sure. So you've already mentioned that we have a couple of very exciting projects that Austin's currently working right now. So we're not aggressively pursuing new projects because we are excited with the projects we're currently working. But Austin is looking for district scale potential where we can see opportunity for economic discovery that other prior explorers might have missed. So that's in a nutshell what we're looking for.
And I think previously you mentioned that historic data that is possibly still in hard copy that no one's come across before is also can be a factor in the decision.
That's helpful. I told the story that something about Lone Mountain I haven't mentioned is that there was a shed where a bunch of the data was supposedly stored. And I think in one of my previous discussions, I mentioned that Lone Mountain has been owned by one family for 60 years, and it has. And they had all this data stored in a shed, and because no one had been in the shed for so long, they couldn't find the key, and we had to cut the lock off. So I was corrected on that. Apparently, they did find the key. It just took them a while. So I misspoke when I said they had to cut the lock off. But the project has been held by one family for 60 years.
How important do you think it is that these projects are also located in the US? Because obviously here in London we see a lot of gold miners coming onto the market, but a lot of these mines are in other parts of the world. You've mentioned the fact that previously Oregon was a little bit hostile to the mining industry, but overall, is there a premium because they're actually located in the States? It's quite a secure and transparent jurisdiction.
Yes, absolutely. Just coming back to Stockade for 1 minute, if Stockade had been located in Nevada, it would have been explored, and if there was an economic deposit, it would have been mined years ago. Oregon did have an anti-mining sentiment going back into the 1980s, 1990s, but most recently, we've got a project about 60 miles away that's gone through the permitting process, and it looks like they're going to have their final permits issued sometime in 2025. So, and they're building an underground mine. In Oregon, their anti-mining stance was more about open pit. And so that's why we're drilling deeper at Stockade. We're looking for the potential underground mine project that, the vein feeder systems there. So we're with our neighbor only 60 miles away, working through the permitting process and expected to get their permits next year. We don't think Oregon's going to be a problem at all. But the simple answer to your question is being in the United States is very important. Choosing the right location for mineral exploration and development depends on several factors, including resource availability, and most important, is the country's mining policies. There's many nations face challenges like political instability, corruption, excess taxes, inadequate infrastructure, etc. I can give you a couple examples which the market might be aware of. First, Quantum Minerals had to halt their production at their Cobre Panama mine, a big copper mine, because Panama's government ordered their shutdown of that mine in December of 2023 after protests calling for more environmental protections erupted across the country, and a court ruling deemed the contract to run the mine unconstitutional. And more recently, just within the last couple of weeks, 4 of Barrick's employees were arrested in Mali for an alleged financial crimes. In line with Mali, in line with the rise in resource nationalism across the world, Mali's government in 2023 adopted a new mining code. That could mean that the government will increase their stake to 35% in existing gold mines compared to what was previously 20%. So Barrick has been negotiating this with, in Mali on this project. So those are a couple areas where jurisdictions where there's mines have been shut down or senior executives arrested to force an issue with the government. So Austin Gold projects were in Oregon and Nevada, which we consider to be safe, mining-friendly jurisdictions.
And can you just briefly summarize the financial situation of Austin Gold?
Absolutely. So I've mentioned we've got a very small market cap. We've got 13.25 million shares outstanding total. Fully diluted is about 16 million shares, and management owns half of the 13 million shares. So we've got a very significant position. We're motivated, and that allows us in a very small float. The company has over $6 million US in its treasury, so we're fully funded for exploration and drill programs planned for the next year. So we're in really, really good shape. We're in a great position. So in a nutshell, I have this little line I say, and very simply, before we drill, I can't tell you what's in the ground and whether Austin Gold will have a discovery on the projects we're currently working. However, we're exploring for large gold deposits in areas known for hosting large gold deposits, and the prize is potentially worth billions of dollars. When there's a lottery with $1 billion prize, and they have these lotteries in the US every once in a while, there are a lot of people buying the tickets with potentially only one winner. With a potential $1 billion prize at Austin Gold, if we have a discovery, all shareholders are potential winners. And of course, I like to say you can't win the lottery if you don't have a ticket.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much indeed for that. That's a great way to conclude the podcast with Dennis. Thanks a lot for your time today and for talking about Austin Gold with us.
Stuart, thanks for inviting me. Thank you.
You've been listening to the Armchair Trader podcast. Make sure you visit our website, www.thearmchairtrader.com, for your daily dose of financial markets news and sign up to our free newsletter there.